Welcome in, everyone. So, if you're a new student just stepping into the wild, honestly sometimes overwhelming world of A-levels, I just want you to take a deep breath. I know exactly how stressful it can be. Today, I'm going to act as your older sister and guide you through this explainer to help you navigate one of the biggest, most stressful decisions you're facing right now. And that is your subject selection. Specifically, we're going to completely demystify A-level English language. Okay, let's just dive right into this and see why this subject might actually be the secret weapon you've been looking for.
Look, it is completely normal to feel a ton of pressure right now. When it comes to picking these subjects, I've noticed students basically fall into one of two mindsets. First, you've got the highly specific route, right? Like, you know for a fact you want to be a doctor, so you take biology, chemistry, and physics. Boom, done. But that second mindset, that's the student looking for the most manageable route, or, what people call the easy way out. You're constantly being told how insanely difficult A-levels are, and you just want to get through it in one piece, maybe aiming for a broad field like commerce, law, or humanities down the line. If you're in that second camp, or honestly, even if you're just looking for a manageable extra subject, you really need to pay attention to what we're covering today.
I want you to notice the word skill here, because English language isn't just a subject, it's a universal skill. Think about something like biology. If you're a commerce student, taking biology makes absolutely zero sense. It's highly specialized, and it really doesn't pair well outside its own lane. But English? It pairs beautifully with absolutely everything. Whether you're deep into the sciences, studying commerce, or focusing entirely on humanities, English acts as this incredibly powerful complement. It's a dynamic skill that goes way, way beyond the classroom and is just insanely valuable to have sitting right there on your future CV.
Now, I can almost guarantee you've heard this line before. If you ask around, talk to your friends, or even sit down with college counselors, and you tell them you want an easy A, they're almost always going to hand you the exact same list. They'll say, just take business, sociology, or Urdu. And look, while Urdu is an accelerated one-year subject and definitely manageable for sure, not everyone wants to study it, or even has the foundation for it. So that leaves business and sociology as the reigning champions of this so-called easy A. But we have to ask, is that actually true? Are they really the only straightforward paths? To figure this out, we really need to look past playground rumors and conventional wisdom. We're going to look at actual hard Cambridge data. And to keep things completely fair and accurate, we're looking specifically at the post-COVID grade thresholds, just so there are no weird pandemic-related adjustments muddying the waters. We're going to compare English directly with those legendary easy subjects, as well as the notoriously tough ones, to see exactly where it stands. Let's look at the reality here.
So, the absolute crucial point is right here in these numbers. Look at math. It is totally infamous for being difficult. To get an A-star in math, you need roughly 90% of the marks, and for an A, you need 80%. Now look at business and sociology, everyone's favorite easy subjects. Business requires an 80% for an A-star, and sociology requires about 75%. Now, check out English language. To secure an A-star, you need approximately 78% of the marks, and for an A, just 69%. The data literally proves it. English is significantly easier to score high in compared to the sciences or math, and it is highly, highly competitive with business and sociology. It sits right in that exact same sweet spot.
But wait, it actually gets better than that. A massive hidden advantage of A-level English is the stability. If you look at business thresholds across different variants or different years, they can wildly fluctuate, like sometimes by as much as 7 or 8 marks. That unpredictability can be incredibly stressful when you're just sitting there waiting for your results. English language thresholds, on the other hand, rarely fluctuate. They stay consistently stable across all variants and years. It gives you this sense of genuine predictability and real peace of mind, which, let me tell you, is very, very rare in the A-level universe.
Okay, Section 1, Freedom from Rigid Formulas. What are you actually studying?
So we've established that the grade boundaries are incredibly favorable. But what about the actual day-to-day experience of taking the class? Because getting a good grade is one thing, but actually not hating your life while studying is another. Let me share a perspective from the source material for a second. The speaker actually took 6 different A-level subjects, including math, computer science, economics, accounting, and English. Out of all of those heavyweights, they found English language to be the easiest and by far the most fun. And it really all comes down to rigidity. Subjects like math or accounting are just so rigid. There's almost no theory, it's a fixed formula. To get good at them, you don't really learn a broad concept. You basically just have to sit down and grind through 5 years of past papers, solving thousands of questions until your brain is completely fried. English language is the absolute opposite of that. It is not about rote memorization or drilling the exact same equation. It's a space where you actually get to harbor your creativity. It's analytical.
You're genuinely learning something dynamic that you can apply outside the four walls of your classroom.
And that perfectly transitions into how the subject is actually assessed, especially when you get to your A2 year. In a lot of theoretical subjects, you just cram the textbook theories and regurgitate them straight onto the exam paper. But A-level English language, particularly A2, asks you to look at actual, real-world scenarios. You're presented with texts, media, or situations, and you're asked, hey, which theory do you think applies here? As long as your answer is logical and reasonable, you get the marks. You aren't just memorizing, you're actively thinking, analyzing, and applying logic to real-world internet culture and media. It's actually pretty cool.
All right, moving to Section 2, your university cheat code, the strategic benefits beyond the classroom.
Now that we know the day-to-day studying is totally manageable and engaging, we need to talk strategy. Because taking A-level English isn't just a win for your current stress levels, it is an absolute cheat code for your university applications. There are massive, hidden strategic advantages that this specific subject unlocks for your future, and honestly, a lot of students completely miss out on them. Let's start with how universities actually view you. If you're applying abroad, especially to the US or Europe, admissions officers love a diverse portfolio. Think about it. If you're taking math, computer science, and physics, adding chemistry as a fourth subject kinda just makes you look like a one-dimensional STEM machine. Universities want well-rounded students. Adding English to a heavy STEM cluster brilliantly breaks it up. It proves to admission officers that your interests are spread out, that you have strong communication skills, and that you aren't just a narrow, single-track applicant. It gives you a massive competitive edge.
And then, oh my gosh, there is the financial cheat code, 30,000. That is roughly the amount in rupees you would spend to take an English proficiency test, like the IELTS or the Duolingo English test. And that's not even mentioning the weeks or months you'd spend paying for academy prep classes to actually pass them. But here's the incredible thing, many universities abroad, specifically in the UK and Europe, will actually exempt you from taking those expensive proficiency tests entirely if you score a B or above in A-level English language. Just having this subject on your transcript with a decent grade automatically proves your proficiency and saves you a ton of time and a ton of money.
Beyond just the application process, this subject sets you up for actual survival once you get to university. I need to be completely real with you here. If you're planning a career in the social sciences, law, media, international relations, or really any liberal arts field, your entire university life is going to revolve around writing massive, complex thesis papers and assignments. You absolutely cannot just use an AI to write these for you. You have to know how to structure and analyze an argument properly. A-level English teaches you exactly how to write and analyze at a high academic level. It ensures that when you step onto a university campus, you aren't that student panicking over how to structure a basic essay paragraph.
And the best part, that writing superpower doesn't just wait until university to kick in, it helps you immediately in your other A-levels. If you're taking economics, sociology, law, or psychology alongside English, you're going to find that all those subjects are heavily essay-based. By taking English language, you're actively being taught advanced writing and structuring techniques that will naturally bleed over into your other subjects. It's essentially a force multiplier. You learn the skill in English class, and you turn around and use it to instantly boost your grades in economics and sociology.
Okay, let's wrap this up with Section 3. The final decision. Is A-level English right for you? So we've looked at the data, we've explored the syllabus style, and we've uncovered those strategic university benefits. But at the end of the day, you have to make the choice that works best for you. Let's put on our college counselor hats for a second and look at exactly who should and who shouldn't put this subject on their final A-level schedule. You should absolutely take this subject if you fit into these categories. First, if you're looking for a manageable fourth subject that won't totally destroy your sleep schedule, this is it. Second, if you despise rote memorization, cramming theories, and doing thousands of math pass papers, you are going to thrive here. Third, if you have your sights set on studying abroad and love the idea of skipping those super expensive proficiency tests, lock this in. And finally, if you actually enjoy analyzing media, internet culture, and applying logical reasoning to the real world, you'll find the A2 syllabus incredibly fun and engaging. On the flip side, I want to be completely transparent with you about who should avoid it. Skip A-level English language if you are on a very strict pre-med or pre-engineering path and you're only taking 3 subjects. In that case, your required sciences have to take priority. Also, definitely skip it if your brain is entirely wired for mathematics. If you love formulas, if you love rigid black and white answers, and you absolutely despise writing essays, then honestly this subject will probably frustrate you. It requires a lot of writing, and if that is literally your worst nightmare, it is totally okay to steer clear.
But if you're ready to step away from the endless formulas and start writing your own path, A-level English is right there waiting. It is a powerful, strategic choice disguised as an easy A. I want you to really think about how these skills align with your own goals, and if you want to dive deeper into the exact syllabus content next, let that curiosity guide your next steps. I promise you are going to do amazing in your A-levels. The real question is, are you ready to use the ultimate university cheat code?